coaching that takes place. One is that if you're one of my sales guys and you just come back on a sales call, I say, Eddie, what happened? And we talk about what happened and we say, okay, so this is what we should do next. That's kind of like being in the middle of a ball game, call a timeout and say, here's the play we're going to run. It's called coaching in the moment. That has to take place. That has to be done because we've got to score runs. The coaching that doesn't take place enough is the second part. Coaching for success, long-term success, which means developing skills and changing behaviors. And that's what we're going to talk about this morning, that type of coaching.
Tony and Anthony Cole training are great. The greatest strength of the company is Tony himself. And he's managed to take his strengths, which starts with getting it. He really gets it, and he's got compassion, and he's got experience, and he's got tremendous speaking skills, and he's got tremendous coaching and training skills, and he's been able to transfer that down through his team. So his whole team gets it and can deliver meaningful, impactful training and coaching in a way that ends up giving companies results.
We assess sales organizations from coast to coast, and we look for several things. One of the groups of things we look for are called crucial elements for success. One of the crucial elements for success is desire, another one is commitment, one is outlook, and the last one is taking responsibility. And what we find in every organization is about 75% of the people that assess and evaluate make excuses for lack of results. I'm pausing for a reason. Let that set in. If you've got 5 people in your company, you got at least 3 people making excuses. If you got 10 salespeople, you got 7 of them making excuses for lack of success. I'm too busy. I had to take care of this. I didn't get around to it. I've been sick. My dog got run over. You know, it's like this dog obedience. I ate my homework. If at first you don't succeed, lower your expectations, and that's what we do. Let me tell you a quick story. I'm coaching at Iowa State University my first year, 1978. And I get there in June 17th, June 18th, worst hailstorm in the history of Iowa. And I'm thinking, what the hell am I living here for? This is just awful. You know, baseball-sized hail coming down. We train our kids through the summer. We show up with the football team in August for our 30 practice sessions, and we're timing them in a 40-yard dash. We do a series of physical tests. And Larry is timing, he's our linebacker coach, he's timing his linebackers in a 40-yard dash. Now, I don't know why they do that in football. I don't know if you watch football, but it's a very rare occasion when an athlete gets a chance, run 40 yards straight ahead, starting from a standstill, nobody trying to tackle him. But they do that test anyway. And so he times George, and George runs a 4.65. Now, that means nothing to you. It means a lot to me. It meant a lot to me as a strength coach because I knew we were going to line up against Nebraska, Oklahoma, Missouri, and Kansas, and their guys, their Georges, run 4.5. We're going to get beat badly because they're faster and bigger than we are. So he finishes running a 40-yard dash. He gets a chance to do this 3 times. He's running back, and Coach Larry yells out, George, and here's the coaching. You have to run faster. But I'm sure George is thinking, no kidding, Coach. I mean, he knows that. I went through the same thing when I was in the life insurance business, the National Life of Vermont. I'd show up with my numbers at the end of the week, and Bob, my manager, would say, Tony, you need to see more people. Now imagine for a second, you go to your sales team. I go to Brad, he's on my sales team. They say, Brad, last year you did 225,000. This year I want you to do 370,000. Brad, what are you thinking? Yeah, thinking, how am I going to do that? What else is he thinking? What's he thinking? I don't know if I can get there. What else? What's he thinking about me? What's that? I'm nuts, right? But suppose for a second you told him, I want you to see 55 people instead of 50 people. How about that? Instead of seeing 1 in a week, I want you to see 1.1 a week. And I'm going to help you do that, by the way. Okay? Instead of converting 50% of your calls on the phone, I'm going to coach you, improve your skills so that you convert 55%. So now you have 30 appointments instead of 25. Can you do that, Brad? Brad's going to say, sure, I can do that. And oh, by the way, we're going to do a better job of coaching you and helping you cross-selling so that your average size sale goes from 30,000 to 33,000. What's Brad's response going to be? Well, I can do that. See, that's more meaningful, intentional coaching to get us from where we've been at 225 to where we want to go. How many of you would like to report that to your senior VP or president of sales every year? Show of hands. It's not hard. You just got to do it. Okay? That's the difference. That's the difference you can make.
Tony's material is the nature of it, and the way it's delivered allows people to go home and do some things different immediately. So it's the ability to take learning and convert learning into action.
So we're going to talk about accountability. That's our primary focus. Because it's with accountability, okay, that your company will be allowed to make sure that those steps that you want to follow around that buyer's process get executed the way you want them executed. Without accountability, your salespeople and maybe other people in your organization left to their own devices will do what they think is appropriate versus what you think is appropriate. And so even though it can appear to be a dirty word, something that nobody likes, something that could be redescribed as micromanagement, it can essentially be the lifeblood of your future success if we do it well.
At the end of the day, I'm tasked by my clients to bring in the highest caliber speakers that we can find. And consistently, Tony does a remarkable job coming in and leaving the people and our attendees with something that they can take away and really put to use to improve their performance.
Linda and I have a son whose name is Anthony Patrick Cole Jr. You can tell I'm a little bit proud. You know, I named him, you know, continue that family name sort of thing. He got the name Bo because his little sister Alex couldn't say brother. And so she started saying, where's Bo? And the name stuck, and so Bo. And Bo knows about accountability. Lynn and I get a call on September 8th, 1998 at about 1:05 from the junior high school telling us that our son is being airlifted to Children's Hospital in Cincinnati. We don't know why. We don't know what's going on. We rush down there. We fight our way into the emergency room. The scene kind of looks like that. That's not what I didn't think about bringing a camera with me. So I put a picture in there to kind of tell you what's going on. And when we get to the hospital, we're met by two clergy. They take us into a secluded room and ask us if we would like to talk about last rites. Boy, that'll shake you to your core. They put the paddles on him, I don't know, Linda, 7, 11 times. When we finally get a chance to go into the ICU and see him, he's got wires everywhere. He's got burn marks all over his chest and his back where they put the paddles on him. And, you know, he was blue in the face when the EMT showed up, and they're putting a bag on him. And, you know, it's a mess. You know, as you can tell, it's hard for me to even get through the story. But somehow, we managed to get through the other side. The thing about Bo and what he knows is this, is that he can only control one thing in his life. He's severely disabled, severely dependent. If he's not feeling well, he can't tell you. If he's hungry, the brain doesn't send the message to tell you that I'm hungry, can I eat something? If he wants to change a channel on TV because he's bored with the show, he can't tell you that. But the one thing he controls every day is his attitude. And the interesting thing and blessing that Anthony has is he doesn't compare today to yesterday and say, oh, geez, I hope, you know, yesterday was a better day. It was sunny. And he can't compare today to tomorrow. He can't hope for tomorrow. He can't hope that tomorrow is a better day. He's got this moment right here. And boy, that's a huge lesson for me as his dad. And it was a heartbreaking lesson for me to learn when one day I'm trying to work with him, trying to rehab him. And I didn't realize that my son was never going to come back. His brain injury was so severe. And things weren't going well, and he starts to cry. This is when he's about 15 or 16. And cry heartbreaking tears. And he says, Dad, why do you hate me so much? And it's that moment of truth where you decide, I'm going to change. I'm going to do some things differently. And so as you go through your career, that's the decision that you can make, because you control one thing every day, and that's your attitude. You decide every day what it's going to be like. It's going to be a great day, or holy crap, another one of these days. All right? It's been a blessing, Bill, for having me be here again this year. Thank you so much. You guys were great this morning. I hope that I left you with something that will help you take your business to a whole nother level. I'm looking forward to our breakout sessions. So thank you so much. You guys are great. Thank you. Thank you.